Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Welcome everybody to our November 12th, 2024 regular council meeting. First off, I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge that tonight we're gathered on Treaty 5 territory. That's the ancestral lands of the Opaskwayak Cree Nation, as well as many other Indigenous people, and it's also the homeland of the Red River Métis Nation. So with that, I will call the meeting to order. I would just do a quick attendance check. Councillor Atkinson is on phone, and Councillor Allen had sent his regrets. He due to a travel plan. So with that, somebody should have a motion or a resolution to adopt the agenda.
Any additions?
Any additions to the agenda? I don't see none.
Myself, second by Councillor Manager, resolve that the agenda be adopted as amended, as presented. Sorry.
Call a question, all in favor? Councillor Atkinson?
Aye.
That's 6-0. Carried. Okay, somebody should have a resolution to adopt the minutes.
Myself, resolve that the minutes of the regular council meeting of October 28th, 2024 be hereby approved. All statutory declarations having been complied with.
No, I didn't. You weren't paying attention, I didn't skip it. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes? See no questions, call the questions, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, recognition period. Anybody want to talk about some of the great stuff in our community? I want to start off though, by giving our new youth counselor, Annie Ola, an introduction, and maybe, and we're happy that she's going to bring bring some of the youth perspective to our council table and share the ideas as we go on. So maybe if you don't mind, just giving everybody in TV land here who you are. And
Great. My name is Aniola Atoyebi. I am an 11th grade student at MBCI, and I would say I am really involved in the community, so I'd be able to give you some more insight into what the youth today are forward to.
Well, we look forward to it. I know that you can tell the last guy, Josh, will just give us a hard time all the time. So, no, thank you for coming out, and we look forward to working with you.
Great. I look forward to working. Yes. Thank you.
I know there was Remembrance Day stuff going on. I know Councillor Atkinson attended yesterday for the Legion. I don't know if anybody else had had a chance to get out there. I would also throw a shout out to the community or Canadian communities for Canadian Center for Safer Communities. They were in town last week. I spent time with them on the Wednesday and Thursdays, thanks to the seniors, the Golden Agers there. We met with them for a few hours. Very engaged conversation. The business group we met with in the afternoon at the Wascana Inn. Again, another great conversation. And then we got to spend some time in MBCI on Halloween and got some feedback from our youth. And you know, it was very interesting. The feedback that we're getting is a lot of common topics there. I know there's you know, we're surveyed to death, but this is all part of the process where we're gathering all the information with regards to community safety, but also talking about the well-being of our community. And we'll put together an action plan, hopefully early in the new year, that will be very visible and tracked. Anything else?
Just recognize the junior varsity girls volleyball.
Yeah.
They won zones in Norway House. I think they might have lost one set, otherwise they were undefeated throughout. And they'll be going to the provincials, I think, around the 21st of the month.
Nice.
And this weekend, the senior varsity girls volleyball are at Flin Flon.
Okay.
Wishing them well as well. So good.
And I think a couple of hockey clubs had a successful weekend as well.
Yes, again, family grandsons, they were over in Tisdale, and they had a successful tournament there. Undefeated, the final game at the end of third period was still 0-0. They did a shootout, and they won 1-0.
Oh, wow, that's exciting.
So, one grandson got a goal, the other one got a penalty. for some reason.
Oh, takes after you, yeah. And I guess, one thing I wanna give a shout out to Sam Tanvir and the crews around the dental office, taking down that old dental office, a lot of quick moving, work there. I know it's, great to see it down. It's great to see that we're cleaning up, the downtown area from what's things that we are doing. Like, I know I've heard Councillor Manage says we have to hold ourselves accountable for the stuff that we owned, and we're doing what we need to do. We expect everybody else, if we're gonna hold people to the same standard, we need to hold ourselves to that standard as well. So, it helps us market that one old block of land now, through the CDC for potential development in the future. But there's still lots of work to clean up in town.
Just want to expand on Councillor Walker's, keep it local, and the senior boys play at OLC this weekend in
Okay,
their zone championships. So,
awesome.
local teams,
Senior volleyball,
senior volleyball,
good.
senior boys.
So boys, oh, that's great. So good luck to our Spartans this weekend. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Okay, we got citizen period. Did you guys want to come up and, well, you're the only citizens here and we don't have you on the agenda, so. If you don't mind, just introduce yourself and who you're representing.
Where do you want to start with?
You can start.
Okay, I'm Daryl Shotton. I'm the treasurer for the Platte Association for Human Development.
Joe Brown, I'm president of the board.
My name is Jack Mitchell. President.
Are you with this group?
No, I'm just here to,
Oh, no.
I'm just here to ask a question. It's regarding some parking issue down at the RHA. Like in the back alley, their vehicles have been blocking, our exit and that. Apparently it's gone before council. I've been in many times over the last few months. They've been parking there for years. I don't think, from what I understand, when I came to the town, that is no parking there, but it's like on that boulevard where they put all those boulders up.
Yeah, Jack, can you just, I can speak up a little bit, but so where exactly are you saying the parking?
That's 104 Laughlin Avenue.
Okay,
Right.
oh, okay, by the school there.
Yeah.
No,
By the what?
by the RHA primary health.
Oh,
Right,
okay,
right,
okay, yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, you come down the back.
Yeah.
alley At Primary Health and
Yeah.
Zelensky Apartments is on the corner.
Yeah,
But they're parking with those boulders that you set up to stop people from driving through, coming over the bridge, going over the bridge. There's about 10 of them. They put them up there a few weeks ago, which is good. But they're still parking there. And they were blocking the road, like our parking lot is in the back alley.
mhm,
At the 104 Laughlin. So when we go out there, we'll drive around that back alley out to Laughlin Avenue, but sometimes they got their cars, they're onto the back alley
Yep.
road. Apparently that is no parking.
Yep.
Is something going to be done about it?
it did come up, well, this was discussed, maybe Councillor Hopper wants to shed some light on it.
Just last meeting, Jack, it was discussed, no parking, and right now there's no parking on town boulevards anywhere. That particular area was brought up. I think you noticed if you're in there the last couple of days, there is no parking signs just painted on the abutments, but there is going to be signage put up there. We want to elaborate a little more, you were the ones.
Yeah, we ordered some stencils to do a little bit of a inner job.
Yeah, I see it, it's spray painted there, that does not look good at all.
That's temporary.
That's temporary, okay. Yeah, that's my only question, like if it was public parking, that's fine, But like I say, there's the back alley here. Some of them had they're back, they're feet,
Yeah.
3 feet over onto the road.
Yeah, we were concerned with snow removal.
Yeah, it's, and then on the corners, some of the town sidewalk has been broke down, and even on the corner of our parking lot, vehicles angling over that. So like when it snows, like, there's times in the winter, we get a heavy snowfall, and some vehicles parked in there. We can't get out of it, we have to drive down the back alley or drive through
Yeah.
RHC parking. So that was my only question, is that is not public parking.
No, there's something, so what we can tell you, Jack, something is ongoing on that right now. It has been brought to our attention. And council has given, a direction that that is a non-parking area and that people should not be allowed to park there. And for their administration to do whatever's necessary to ensure that there's not parking on that area.
So are you going to put like no parking signs up there?
Yeah,
That is
we're
going
gonna
to,
attack and regulate the thing or most we're just logistics of it, we're still kind of.
yeah, okay. And should they continue to park there, like what happens?
Like part of the sign is gonna be, could be towed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bylaw by us, just like any
Yeah.
other place in car parking, so.
I mean, I drove through myself one time over the bridge. I was in a rush and I left, well, there was no police around, so I drove over it myself. So. But if I get caught, I'm gonna pay probably do it.
Nothing's against the rules unless you get caught.
We don't think they're gonna do it, we're gonna write it down.
So that's the only reason I'm here, is I just wanted to know, because it's coming winter and
Yeah.
and snow gets in there, it can get pretty,
Maybe what you could do is give our CAO your phone number and she can maybe share some more information on what's going on there, but there is work ongoing in that area.
yeah, okay, that's good, okay.
Thanks for coming.
Did you say something that it's already been painted? Have you already painted the stencil on the back of those things?
I
I thought somebody said there was already.
Somebody else, I believe, is
Somebody's.
stepped out and that wouldn't be us.
Okay, because I know it's today and there was still a lot of vehicles parked back there, but I think they're all employees of the primary health.
Well, I think the last meeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, folks, is that we were going to contact primary health, go into the building, tell them that that's a non-parking area. To give them fair warning that, you know, if they park there, they're potentially gonna get towed and ticketed. And so that's the first step, and then also to put up signage. If that doesn't work and towing and ticketing doesn't work, I guess we'll.
Well, if the town blocked it off, not that they had, like a swing change on a couple of those blocks, they could not drive through.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah, so just give your number to Bola and.
Yeah, sure.
So have we done part one? Because you said mentioning to primary health, given
No, the letter hasn't started, like we last week for a little bit, and get a chance to get a little.
Yeah,
That's basically RHA people park.
Because you know, you can like temporarily put up a couple of those yellow blockades to stop people from getting in there, but you still gotta leave the sidewalk open, right?
But the sidewalk facing the bridge is open. And the sidewalk inside of that. It's on, our side of the back alley itself, but that is still town property. The sidewalk is there. The sidewalk is open. So if it was.
Yeah.
Gravel area, there's no sidewalk in there.
Well, I think what Councilor Manage said is let's do what we said we were gonna do. Let's get to the primary health. Let them know that we don't want them to park there and if it still continues to be a problem.
Is primary health, is that the regional health authority?
Yeah, that all.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Now, like, I think that there's 10 of them boulders you put in there, which was very good. It's like a good fence, you know. But, they're still part, they drive right up to it. And then on the one hand, it's half of it's fine, and then on the other end, lots of times they would have 6 or 7 of the vehicles. They're maybe a foot or a foot and a half out
Yeah.
onto the actual road in the
No,
driveway.
for sure. Okay, well, thank you for bringing that.
Yeah,
forward.
sure. I just thought I would do it, because I say if it was public parking, well, then I just have to put up
Yeah.
with it, you know, but if it's not public parking, I don't think that I could boulevard there. I don't think any place you can park it.
Yeah.
Can you?
So,
I wouldn't think so.
Okay, we appreciate that.
Yeah, okay, sorry for letting you for the time, but.
Oh, that's okay.
Just a question that was.
I know you're a painter, you didn't paint that on
No, no, I didn't think that. Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, Daryl and Joan.
Yes. We were asked to come.
Okay, so tell us about what's going on with the
Association for.
Yeah, association with.
Well, like we briefed you, what, 6 months ago or whatever, our business plan, we were starting to lose money too quickly. We weren't able to maintain our business, basically. We were operating at a deficit. The new U hadn't come back as strong as we had hoped. The province wasn't covering the costs of the day program enough, and we were losing money each month, and it became untenable. We couldn't keep going, operating at a loss. We couldn't get funding from any bank because we're a nonprofit charitable organization. Even though our building was 100% paid off, we weren't able to use it to get a home equity line of credit or as whatever to get a loan. They couldn't use it as collateral because again, we're a nonprofit charitable organization. So we're in the process right now. We've come to an agreement on sale of a building. In the next 6 months to a year, we'll be dissolving the association for Juneau. We should recover enough from the sale of the building, cover all expenses or liabilities. We'll pay our property taxes in full up to the day of the new owners taking over. We'll be able to cover all other expenses that we've incurred during operation, cover all our liabilities, and then if there's any money left over, then we'll give that back to the community through donations to other charitable organizations with similar focus on young people, on individuals with different needs, stuff like that.
Just, talk about the streams that you have for the building.
The new thrift store, our day program that we have in there with the province, they paid us per diem based on the clients who came to work every day.
And those are the clients that move south.
A lot of them did. We did have 7 clients, I believe, at the time
So
when we
they-
closed.
Is that kind of around the same time economic news services closed up and lost a lot of their funding, and is that at the same time your clients moved out of town?
Yeah, but they had no place to stay overnight, basically, because we're just simply a day program.
You're talking about Fisher Place?
Yeah,
Well, they were moved by the government about 3 years ago.
So you have nothing to do with Fisher Place?
Yeah, nothing to do-
nothing to do with it, but lots of the
clients
individuals who
didn't want
lived in Fisher Place came to our day program.
So there's how many board members for the?
I think we're basically in, we're down to
We're
us
down.
two.
To how many?
Us two, I think, are. Health issues, moving away and that we've been active in trying to recruit new members, but.
What is
been
the-
successful.
What have you got the building listed at for?
599,000.
And what do you think you owe?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe 100,000, 125,000.
Because I know when the inception of it, when the building was built, the town donated the land for that area, for the building. They also, when we were over on Fisher, we made people a grant, we gave the association a grant, it was 3 or 4 years to cover off taxes to get it going. So I like your idea of putting money back into the community, but is it just going to be up to you two, or if one of you quits, just up to one person to decide where that goes?
Well, unfortunately, pretty much, we have rules that we have to follow. We have to give to charitable organizations within the community.
And that's laid down by the government.
Yeah, anything that we don't give out goes to the government.
Just a suggestion, I think you need to, you're not dissolved yet, I think you need to adequate board members, maybe some membership. If you're dealing with, $400,000 or $500,000, you're gonna have to be very transparent in where that money goes, who gets it, what process it goes through. Because all of the community has supported over the years, and you don't wanna close it up and say, somebody got all this money just because they knew Daryl and.
We can't keep,
Pardon?
we can't keep whatever's left over. It has to be all given away.
Well,
Yeah, definitely, we're gonna do a process that will be transparent.
So is there, do you have any plans of increasing the board to help with the?
We've been trying for the last 5 years, as board membership has been open, we have an annual general meeting, everything like that. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people who'd love to give away 500,000.
Well, I guess,
Right?
I guess the thing is, Daryl, it's one of the things that concerned me too, when I looked at when I was looking at when this was all going through too, I guess. We were a little bit surprised. I knew you had financial problems, but we didn't realize that you had financial problems where you were gonna close the doors and sell the building. Because that wasn't I don't believe that came up during our discussions here the day that you were asking, but I could be wrong.
It's possible I phrased it incorrectly, but I said,
Yeah.
this is serious problems. We cannot continue to
Yeah,
operate at
so-
this deficit. We won't be able to make payroll. And right now,
Well,
when we came to you guys, we were 2 to 3 weeks ahead of our payroll.
Well, but I think Daryl, like when we talked, you had 4 or 5 months worth of payroll when you look at your losses and the cash that we talked about. Because that was the discussion we had where if you were losing 2,000 a month. That was when you guessed that your losses were, you had $27,000 in the bank. So with those losses. Well, anyways, either way, I guess I'm sort of what Councillor Hopper has mentioned is that I do believe that there should be some sort of membership drive or some sort of drive for board members right now and membership, because I don't believe even with the Constitution, how it's laid out today, you're actually, I'm not sure if you're even allowed to be doing that. And so I think just for everybody's assurance, I mean, I highly recommend that there's some call out in the public that says we're looking for board members immediately, urgently, to assist us with the wrap up of the PAW Family or Human Development Association. And that it's an urgent call. That's my recommendation. Is there any other questions for?
I just have to say, I totally agree on both areas of what senior points. Doesn't look good to have 2 people decide on this small money and where the town actually donated the land before and then the taxes that all has to play into it. Unfortunately, it's business.
Because at the end of the day, the horse is over the barn, so to speak, at this point, but it's a big loss to the community. And when the first government funding was withdrawn on some of the clients, that's where the whole of the community shoved it up their arms, because it moved some of the individuals down south, their family lives here, they're moved out of town. It's a big loss for the community, and that's been going on now for 3 years.
And just, we do appreciate everything that you guys have done. I know it's stressful as heck, I'm sure, to go through the process that you're going through, and it's not easy, especially being tied to it for so long. And so I'm not sure these decisions weren't easily made, and it's always easy for us on the outside to say, here's a path that maybe should have been taken after the path's already been traveled. But we, rest assured, we did raise those issues with the provincial government. We raised these issues with the federal government, our MP, specifically around not getting the support for our community members. And this is just another example of something going wrong, and we're not getting the services that our community deserves. And, so we just want to support an appropriate wrap up of whatever happens to be, so that if there's something we can do to support you guys. But, I hope that You know, we could have maybe done something, but as you mentioned, when we chatted lots of times, Daryl, over the last little while, you know, taxes weren't gonna save anything, you know. Us giving a tax write-off for the next couple of years wasn't gonna help. It would help, but it wasn't gonna pull you out of the ditch.
It wouldn't, the province had the opportunity
Yeah.
to start the ditch. They chose not to.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. We've been having problems getting new employees and that for a while too.
Yep.
And it's not something we took lightly. It was a lot of sleepless nights. That's why we got involved in the board. I was the program coordinator for building the building, right?
Yeah.
I got all the funds, or worked to get all the funds
I can
there.
remember coming here asking for land,
Yeah. I mean,
and we were very appreciative of it.
and the boss was supportive.
Yeah.
As soon as you guys get your charitable designation, we can legally do that.
You have a question also. You have fire insurance
Yeah, we still have full insurance.
and it's not occupied at the moment.
No, tentative possession date will be mid-December. We do have an agreement with Catch and Fire, but until everything's done, we'll keep that private. Yeah, they have to do an inspection and everything. Get funding, or not funding, but
Yeah, whereas
go to the bank.
insurance companies are very precise if the building is unoccupied or something were to happen. And it's a big fight in there. And so if you have room to put a little office in there in the meantime to be working out of there.
There's somebody that go there a couple of times a day and verify it and write it down, and
Because it's a nightmare.
just check with your insurance company to make sure that while it's been shut down, that you're doing all the appropriate checks that's needed if something did go wrong. Any other questions from anybody from council? Well, if there's something we can do to help, you know, I hope that you take our advice as constructive and not, to come across the wrong way, but if there's something we can do to help out, Jonathan, our CDC guy is here. He can help you, with any of the board functions or those type of things.
Absolutely, and we've got a lawyer too as well.
Yeah.
To make sure that we're gonna do everything legally properly.
Yeah.
Thanks for your dedication over the years.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Just to keep track of it. Okay, 8-1.
Just as an introduction, it's a long one, so I'm going to read it once in the first reading. The third reading will be, please remember, so pay attention the first time around. Resolution number 2024-219, moved by Councilor Manage, second by Councilor Hopper. Whereas section 2321 of the Municipal Act provides authority for the municipality to pass bylaws for municipal purposes respecting the following matters: the safety, health, protection, and well-being of people, and the safety and protection of property, preventing and fighting fires, the enforcement of bylaws, the sale and use of firecrackers and other fireworks, the use of rifles, guns, and other firearms, and the use of hose and devices. And whereas section 264 of the Municipal Act provides that every municipality must provide fire protection services within its boundaries to reduce the danger of fire, which may include education programs, inspection of properties, the installation of alarms, instructions on firefighting, on fighting fires, the provision of firefighting equipment, and a fire protection force. And whereas the fire department should provide certain non-emergency services. And whereas the people for whom services are provided should be responsible for offsetting the cost of providing the services. And whereas it is deemed expedient and in the public interest to establish, continue, and maintain fire prevention and emergency services standards in the town of Paul. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4653, being a bylaw of the town of Paul, to provide firefighting, fire prevention, and related regulations of fire and other hazards the adoption of the Manitoba Fire Code, and for establishing, continuing, and operating an emergency fire service, and to repeal bylaw number 4578 be read a second time.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so, this is a update of the bylaw that we have for fire protection within our community. It was further expanded on specific, services that are provided, cleared up the, stuff around, fireworks and, those type of things, fire pits, the rules around that. I don't know if there's any further questions. Seeing none, call question, all in favor? Hands up, eyes in.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did we get that report
Yeah,
that Mr. Bennett was talking about the last time?
yeah.
But it was never discussed.
So. Just, yeah, okay, so,
The report was sent out to everybody. Anybody, I didn't have any questions on it. Everybody else did.
I didn't get it. I got two other things, but I didn't get that.
okay, so all in favor, put your hand up. So I got Carrie, Gary, Andre, Margaret, 4 against,
I just abstained. Twice, he left before.
abstained.
And I understand as well, for the reasons I gave before,
To abstain.
I feel it's rushed to bring it forward. But draw attention specifically to the fees now missing from it. Any fees associated with, sorry to pick
Okay,
on.
bring it to the next one, Counselor, because
Okay.
we've already passed this, so this is the third reading, so you can bring it up in the question to
Okay.
that.
Let's give reasons why we abstained.
Oh, yeah, I know, but because, you know, you're going, we'd already voted and everything, so I'd already signed off on it. Oh, we're gonna do it again, so you have an opportunity to do it.
As I said previously, I won't read the whole thing this
Yeah.
time, even though I messed it up, my reading was terrible. Resolution number 2024-220, moved by Councilor Mann, second by Councilor Commodore. I'll read the first part only.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll read the last paragraph, which is most applicable.
Yeah.
Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4653, being a bylaw of the town of Paw, to provide for firefighting, fire prevention, the related regulations of fire and other hazards, the adoption of the Manitoba Fire Code, and for establishing, continuing, and operating an emergency fire service, and to repeal bylaw 4578 to be read a third time and be passed.
All right, so this is the third reading, so this is a recorded vote. Before we get there, is there any questions, Councilor Manich?
Not so much a question, just what I brought up the first time this came forward. I feel it's a bylaw that shouldn't be in front of us at this time. Comment from council was, well, we can just address it again. I don't feel that's effective and efficient governance. Points missing from this bylaw are fees specifically that in the previous bylaw spelled out are fees for things like false alarms. That was a huge financial burden to the town taxpayers. We now lose that ability until our new fee and fine schedule is brought forward. But it laid out our false alarm fees, our nuisance calls. Those are now gone because of the new bylaw.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. My understanding the fees and fine schedule is coming.
Is coming and all the fees are under that.
Are on what?
Yes, all other fees that will be paid.
Right, but in the meantime, if we don't pass that, that could be a month or 2 months from now.
Yes,
With the number of calls that you receive at, sorry to pick on Councillor Allen, but to the Kelsey Housing Estates, for example, that's thousands of dollars that the taxpayers are on the hook for that we can never bill back for.
no, we have the current bills that we pay.
It's removed now. It's removed from the bylaw. It was spelled out before. Now, just as a general thing of the fees and fines. If the fees and fine schedule does not exist, we can't use it
The fees-
because it directed them specifically. Now,
Well, we can still get the fee, we can still issue fees and fines.
after the fact is not appropriate.
No, it's
No,
when,
it's coming separately.
Councillor
I
Hopper?
understand you're saying separately, yes, but it doesn't exist right now.
It's, okay, we will make it, we will ensure that it's up as soon as possible.
Councillor Hopper, just 1 second, just 1 second. Councillor Hopper.
Was, the original, this is a new bylaw. Did we rescind the other one?
Yeah.
Yes, the other one is now repealed, which means none of it allows.
Councillor,
I understand, I mean, we've got to come back to the table again with all this. If give that consideration, like, if you don't have everything in place now, and we move forward with this, then we have to redo it again later, because we never dotted the i's and crossed the t's and got it all done this time.
The fees and fines are in a separate bylaw.
Right, and that's why.
It used to be inside this one. It's not inside this one because it should never have been inside it. It should have been a separate fees and fines schedule that we keep up to date all the time. So we need to get the fees and fines schedule up and running. So the risk, what we're talking about is if there's a couple of false alarms over the next little while, maybe we won't be able to charge them for it. I don't know if it's thousands of dollars, but there is a risk there, so.
So I have a question. The fees and schedules, they are not here in the old one. I have it with me, if you can open it.
Right, because it said specifically for false alarm was $250. First one is free, second one is $250, third one is $500. Those are now eliminated. This isn't the reasoning for I'm not objecting to this bylaw. I'm abstaining because I feel it came to us prematurely. That's my only issue with the bylaw. And Councillor Hopper had made the comment, we can just revisit again later. That to me is not effective and efficient governance when we could simply wait till the fees and fine schedule is, build it into it, and make sure we've had time to discuss the report that we spent $13,000 on to take into all aspects. Because at the end of the day, this new bylaw doesn't really change anything.
I think
It doesn't add a lot to it. It breaks a couple things down. It breaks it down for further description, which again then opens us up because it used to be more general.
I believe we need a separate,
From.
just one second, well, I believe we need a specific meeting on that report. Because that report, although it does support, a lot of that stuff is already being taken care of. If you read the report, so I think what the help with this situation, I believe we should pass this and be done with it. We need to get the fees and fines schedule done, because that's been we've been talking about that for about 3 years or longer, which needs to be updated because it's not only for fire, for everything else. And what I'm just gonna suggest is that if we could have somebody, the next meeting, put it on the agenda so that we actually get the fire report out in camera if it has to be. And let's go through we believe there are gaps there that are still hanging out there, because I don't actually see the gaps personally, but I'm not a fire expert. Because a lot of the things that was to be addressed was addressed. So to just get back to this resolution here, this is just to update our resolution. And again, I'm not hearing there's objections to the resolution, that we believe there might be some gaps, but the gaps are separate from what this is. So if something does come up though, if we learn something new anytime, we can always amend a resolution or a bylaw. That's our job, so.
I'm just asking, would there be a timeline that you can give me?
Well, I'm gonna have to lean it to Bola, like next meeting, I don't see why we can't have a discussion on that report. And to get it out in front of everybody, because some people don't seem to be getting it, but some people are not receiving it, I mean, so.
I'm just saying that you said 3 to 4 years before and now.
Oh,
Fees and fines.
yeah, fees and fines schedule.
Yeah, but I mean.
Well, it's within a month, they've been working on it, so. So, just to call the question on this, I think the debate's pretty well done. We heard everybody. I'm gonna call the question. So those in favor, myself, yes. Councillor Atkinson. Councillor Hopper. Councillor Forster. Councillor Commodore.
I'm gonna say I'm short term.
Councillor Manage.
Abstained.
And Councillor, okay, so. And we still, oops, I signed the wrong spot. 4, 2. Carried. And we have some follow-up to do on those, so if we can get an idea, a timeline on the fees and fines schedule, please. When maybe you can send council an email when we think we're gonna see that done and passed. And if we can add to the next agenda, which is what I'm hearing, get a discussion on the report. And if you haven't got the report, I'll leave it up to you to contact Bola and not sit and wait for it in your mailbox. Go get the report from Bola, and if she needs to print one off for you, then she'll give you one, and make sure we read it so that we're not looking at a 60-page report. And for the first time next meeting. Okay. Department resolutions, payrolls and accounts.
You have to listen to me reading it.
Oh, there you go. You should say,
Yeah. Next time.
next time, that's right.
Resolution number 2024-221, moved by Councillor Mann, second by Councillor Commodore. Resolved that council authorize the following amounts. Page 22 in the amount of $134,426.41. General check number 28961 to 29,000 in the amount of $142,237.94. General check number 32001 to 32024 in the amount of $201,560.37. EFTs in the amount of $111,374.75.
Everybody had a chance to look at the check registry? Any questions? Seeing none, call all those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. I'm assuming you're good with that, if I hear nothing?
Yeah, 100% in favor.
Okay. Doctor recruitment grants.
Resolution number 2024-222, moved by Councillor Mann, second by Councillor Commodore. Whereas during the 2019, the town provided Paw Community Development Corporation with $75,000 for the recruitment of doctors. And whereas on August 21st, 2024, the Paw Community Development Corporation paid the town of Paw back $44,884.60 for said grant. Therefore, be it resolved, the council approved $44,884.60 to be placed in the general reserve to be used towards future project.
So just a little background on this. So this was all part of the RHA doctor recruitment that was done back in 2018, I believe. It was a joint partnership with the RM of Kelsey. There was money put forward to recruit 3 doctors into town. 2 of them, they both had service agreements for the community on a number of clinical hours they had to perform over a certain period of time. 2 of the doctors performed there. 1 doctor decided to leave her contract. And this is the $44,000 was part of her. So there was 3 doctors, 2 doctors had gotten a certain amount. She had gotten a little bit more, and she had a total payback. So the 44,000, half is for the town of the Paw gets, and half the RM got theirs back. My only comment about this, I would say, is that I think that if you look around the province, the need for municipalities to have funding in place in certain reserves to be able to recruit medical professionals is something that's pretty commonplace now, where you have foundations that are actually recruiting and such. I would have preferred to see this go into a reserve specifically for medical recruitment, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's just not identified as recruitment. It's in a general fund and potentially could get spent. So that's my only comment.
That's what I was worried about.
So with that, is there any questions with this resolution, Councilor?
My question is, what happens if it does get used and we are still in need of doctors in this community, and we're in fear of losing ones that we have because they're overwhelmed and overstaffed with what they have, and then we don't have that reserve sitting there. Then we're pulling it out of someplace else or hoping.
I guess for us as a council right now, we would have to be conscious that that money has been put into a general reserve and that we be aware not to spend it.
Could you read the resolution once more, Margaret?
So whereas in 2019, the town of the the town provided the Paw Community Development Corporation with $75,000 for recruitment of doctors. And whereas on August 21st, 2024, the Paw Community Development Corporation paid the town back the $44,884.60 for the said grant. Therefore, be it resolved that the council approved $44,884.60 to be placed in the general reserves to be used towards future projects. If you look at just at the issue sheet,
Just propose an amendment to that resolution.
okay?
That's kind of the figure there to be placed in a medical recruitment fund, reserve fund, we can set up for that, and we know where it is.
So be placed in a
Medical recruitment.
special recruitment reserve,
Yeah, whatever you want to name it, medical
recruitment.
reserve fund. That way we know where it is and.
That's there.
That's what it's for.
Okay, so
Did you not say that your, is entitled to half of it, or they got?
They got their
half. Okay.
that was $100,000, and the money that you're seeing off the 100 is the legal fees that were required. Okay, so I need to get a motion on the
I
amendment,
have a question.
okay?
Sorry, if we don't have,
Just wait, I have to, just 1 second though, I think I have an actual,
Amendment.
we have an amendment on the table here right now, and I gotta get a seconder.
right,
Just 1 second, Carrie.
okay, sure.
So it's by Gary. And Larry, or, second. Forster. Okay, now question on, we're talking about the amendment.
Yes, so, and that's what my question revolved around, is if we don't have a specific spot to put that, as Counselor Hopper mentioned, can we just create one?
Yeah, we're just doing that now. We're waiting, that's exactly what the amendment is. So the amendment,
Can we do that? Can we allocate it to a specific reserve that doesn't exist?
Does now.
Like, can we just create a new reserve right now? That's fine,
we believe we can, if not, we'll figure it out.
100%.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, so we believe we can, so I need so we're good with the motion, so let's get a vote on the amended, resolution, so, call the question, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0 against, so carried. So let me just read this again, you want me to just do it, Counselor?
If you really like to.
Yeah, so, the motion now is, as amended by Counselor Hopper, seconded by Counselor Forster, whereas in 2019, the town provided the Paw Community Development Corporation with $75,000 for recruitment of doctors. And whereas on August 21st, 2024, the Paw Community Development Corporation paid back the town $44,884.60 for the said grant. Therefore, be resolved that the council approved $44,884.60 be placed in a special recruitment reserve to be used towards a future recruit project.
Medical.
Yeah, recruit. I just want to put that there. I had medical. Recruit.
I know we've passed it already, but the reasoning I asked.
We haven't, we're just 1 second. We haven't passed it yet, so now I call the question on this, resolution, so go ahead.
And I get that we can change it later on, but my question, it still stands, and I'm still in favor of the amendment, and I'm still in favor of doing it, but if we don't have a specific reserve to earmark it to, I think it also stated in there that generally when money is pulled from taxpayers, it needs to be put back. So that's why I was curious to know if that was a specific reason falling behind the general, or if we can do that earmark, and that's what we'll find out.
Yeah, if we did something wrong, I'm sure Laura or somebody will let us know that we did something wrong. But I guess the intent is that we just want to make sure that we keep the funds that were set aside in 2018 for medical recruitment. Okay, seeing no more discussion, call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. That was easy. Okay,
Just to comment on it, I think because it went through the corporation already, it's no longer technically taxpayers' money. It did what it was supposed to do.
yeah,
We allowed,
oh, yeah, that's a good point, yeah, it's a good point.
kind of like buying the land.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I even thought that it should have just stayed in there, but it's better to be.
Jonathan would have to be.
Oh, I know what he's like. Yeah. New jackets, yeah.
He would get a manager with Scott.
Okay, let's, moving right along here, so we're not, so now, the exciting part of the night, I would like to pass this declaration over to my friend.
Yep.
Yeah, you can read it.
I, Eniola Atwebe, do solemnly declare that I am a resident of the town of The Pas, that I am a Canadian citizen, that I am less than the full age of 18 years of age, that I am enrolled as a full-time student at Margaret Barber Collegiate Institute. And I make this solemn declaration conscientiously believing that it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effects as if made under oath and by virtue of the Canada Evidence Act. Declared before me at the town of The Pas in the province of Manitoba this 12th day of November 2024.
All right, let me sign that up here for you. And date it. This 12th day of November. And you can sign there.
I think you're quite excited.
I am.
Yeah.
I love to hear you. Eh?
Which doesn't count as another one.
Okay, and well, somebody has a resolution.
And I have that. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Forster, resolved that I appoint Eniola Atwebe as the youth member of council for a one-year term commencing November 12th, 2024, in accordance with section 81(1) of the Municipal Act.
Would call a question on that. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Welcome aboard. I'll get you out.
Yeah.
Okay. Grant match. Resolution.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Forster, resolved that council approve the hiring of Grant Match Corporation for developing and managing the government funding application process for the town of The Pas.
Discussed at our last meeting, we had a presentation, there's really no cost to us, no risk, other than that if we get a bunch of grants, we pay part of it to the people that are helping us. It's a big resource for us, so. Any further questions? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Manitoba Grow, landfill expansion.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Forster, resolved that council approve the submission of a grant application for the Manitoba Growth Renewal and Opportunities Program to modify the solid waste management facility in the fall by expanding it to establish composting area.
Okay, so this is to apply for an expansion, closure, sort of the work around our landfill. We'll ask our friends Sam and Tanvir to sort of give some ideas or exactly what we're signing off here for, because for the community, they need to understand that this is a significant expense to expand the landfill. We're talking $4.5 million plus things, so.
Yeah, thank you for that. The resolution only approves the actual grant application. If we are successful in the grant application, obviously we'll bring it back to council, at which time we'll have some hard facts, hard numbers to work with in order to make that firm decision. I know our CFO is currently working on different ways that we can fund it, and pull money from different areas and how those may look like. So that should give time for those deliberations in the meantime into the new year. So all we're asking today is for the approval to move ahead with the grant application. There'll be significant discussion if we are to move in the direction of the approval. If we get the grant, obviously then we can also visit other options at the same time.
If you decide to go in a different direction down the road, this is not like it's all completely wasted money. You know whether you're going to a regional landfill or you're gonna stay in this landfill or expanded, the closure part still has to be captured. You still have to do the study. So at the end of the day, it's money that we budgeted to do anyway, so.
Correct, and as part of the scope of what we'll do for the solid waste expansion, the closure component, those will be the scope of work that we'll prioritize for the engineering firm that we look to hire. We won't do any design or anything until a little bit further down the line to ensure that we're not spending any additional monies that we don't have to spend.
Okay, any further questions with that, folks? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Are you good with this, Carrie?
Hi.
Carrie, thanks, guys. Thanks for all the good work that you guys did on that.
Thank you.
Okay, the second one, Centennial Park resolution.
Resolution number 2024-226, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore. Be resolved, council approves submission of resolution for the Manitoba Growth Renewal and Opportunities Fund to renew the recreational infrastructure of the Centennial Park.
Okay, same thing, it's applying for a grant. At the end of the day, we still get to make that decision. I do support this as well. I know we need to do a lot of work in all of our parks, get them up to speed. But I also believe that we need to have an anchor park in our community, and that anchor park appears to be where we have the spray pad. Today, if you look at the amount of troubles that we're having around there with dirt getting into the system, it's not wheelchair accessible. The equipment is old. It's really something that we can build our community around and have some pride in that area. So I support this. Again, it comes back to us after we apply. If we decide down the road after the grant, we can walk away from it anyways. But I think it's a good idea. Any further questions?
Yeah, the only concern I have is the same one we had the discussion about in the last meeting about having so many derelict parks as it is now. They hate to have another shiny new thing for a couple of years and then the other parks are still neglected and basically have gone to waste. So I would like some kind of commitment that our other parks are going to be taken care of.
I agree with you. No, and I think that's a fair point. We kind of need to expect our service levels are going to increase in all of our parks. But I wouldn't not progress forward if because of that. But I agree with Councillor Mallon.
I'm hoping maybe some of this grant money, again, there's going to be very strict rules on what they can do with it, but hopefully there is some money that allow us to refurbish some of our parks. At least in a maintenance level.
At this time of day, in our budget process, if we're gonna spend money in a park, this is the one to spend it on. You hit it on the head. That's the heart of our community. That's where we're directing things. Let's make it look like it.
Okay, so it sounds like everybody's called the question. All in favor? Everybody's good? Opposed? None? Carrie, you're good, Carrie?
In favor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see what we got. September financials resolution.
Resolution number 2024-227, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor. Call the council accept September financial as prepared by the controller as presented.
A lot of information to go through there. Our controller does a great job of outlining all the expenses. Everything, there's no really that I seen any major red flags right now, other than that we'll talk a little bit later in council reports about the RCMP report. But Any questions or concerns with any of the financials?
Just concur, or she does a great job on that. Like I say, there isn't anything that's causing great concern at this time, so.
Yeah, and Laura's good if she's got something that's a red flag. I know Sam and these guys have kind of sandbagged a few things in their report, but we'll let them off the hook tonight and, but I know how those maintenance guys work. I was trying to do this with a straight face.
I know, we were prepared tonight.
Yeah.
Prepared.
Be your own night. Okay, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. You're good, Carrie? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, we're down to committees and reports, museum board. Counselor Commodore.
Okay, it was a very, very nice meeting. We had a few members that were unable to attend. Still looking for a curator. We have received some new chairs which were put together, which are very comfortable and nice and black, to be easy to clean. They had the truth and reconciliation that didn't go through. We have an assistant there that she has a lot of good ideas coming. But they're just ideas now. She's very committed to our community, and she has a youth behind her.
She's what?
Her youth behind her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said she has a noof behind her. I'm like, what? That's a shame, because usually not good.
You're a comedian today.
Yeah, yeah. Took some medication, I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, no, there's nothing outstanding. at the
Okay.
moment. They're just looking for the snow removal. That is something that has to be addressed. They're dealing with the town on that.
Yeah,
That's,
good luck.
yep.
The chamber, anything?
The big one, I want to bring up, normally I would have the minutes for the meeting. Our office manager has them all by now to rely on. So I didn't write them all down, but I'm going to talk about the big ones, which is the Citizen and Business of the Year, which is November 21st after the AGM. So it'd be great to see as many people out as possible, as well as nominations are available. Mostly online, there's a QR code as well, but it's a old event that used to bring a little bit of hype, so it's nice to see it return. Great to see that back. A lot of discussion, we didn't finally have quorum, so there was a lot of discussion that had been lacking in a while, so things like already in talks about Great show, looking to get the arena booked, trying to expand, take on some of the good ideas that happened last year and build off of those. And that's the big ones coming forward again, and always looking for membership. We have a few things that I won't talk about only because they haven't been finalized, but if you're a business in town and want to get a little more involved, a little more exposure, please consider the chamber.
CDC, meetings on Monday. I believe Jonathan will be traveling to the, HBR or HBR Association. What's it? Hudson Bay Route Association's, meeting in Yorkton on Friday, Saturday, so. So we'll hear back comes from there, and I'll give a couple of updates in camera. Destination marketing.
No meeting right now, next meeting is the second week of December, and they're also hoping to recruit a couple more board members before then, I think. Preferably.
Cool. I thought they were all those guys. Cedar Lake, anything, Councilor Atkinson?
Nothing.
Recycle board, councilors.
I think things are progressing from our last meeting. I think there's going to be a meeting towards the end of the month.
Okay.
And to deal with the restructuring of the board and business as usual, so things are progressing.
Yeah. Library board, somebody want to give an update on the email we got from the library? I know Councillor Allen isn't here, but it's a little bit of a disturbing response from the library board chair.
Yeah, I spoke a little bit today to the rec director to kind of get some feedback. Provided a bit of a write-up, but
Can you just let the council know what the issue is?
oh, sorry, yeah, so there's a basement on the front end of the library that leads when you first walk into the entrance. There used to be bathrooms down there at one point, and there's a storage area. So there was a significant amount of water that got in there. We believe it was due to a leak on the line somewhere between the deep well, which is the little building there, and the water main there. So Public Works about 3 weeks ago went and did the repair, maybe 4 weeks ago now. We did see a reduction in the water that was coming in, so we thought maybe the ground was still saturated. We knew there was another section of old piping that was between the hydrant and the water main, so we needed special parts for the reducing, because it was all steel previously, so we had to rip it all out. So our parts arrived last week, and there was still a little bit of water getting there that was probably not due to just ground saturation, so we ripped out all that and redid it all. And based on my discussions with the rec director today, he believes the water has ceased to enter the facility. I believe there was some communication breakdown between the rec director and the library manager. I think there was some issues with her phone perhaps. So there was messages being sent that weren't being received. So when he wasn't getting any messages back, he kind of went down there to talk to her. And then they kind of figured out there was some communication breakdown there. So as of right now, the water appears as of today to not be entering the basement anymore. We directed our purchasing agent to get some quotes for professional cleaning. We're going to seal it off again tomorrow. The basement, poly it off to stop any smell. The smell today apparently wasn't as bad when the rec director was on site. And we'll get it cleaned up, and then we'll do some spraying tomorrow to kind of knock the mold up temporarily until we get it professionally cleaned.
Is there any insurance for that?
There should be. The previous time we did work down there, it was an insurance claim. I guess it just depends on how far we want to go with it, because at one point the decision was to remove those bathrooms down there altogether, because no one really uses them. They have their staff from upstairs. So the decision was made just to rip the bathrooms out and just sort of leave it as a concrete floor. So aside from removing some drywall, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you venting down there?
No, it's pretty damp, pretty dank. Yeah, we'll do some dehumidification and some fans down there, see if we can dry it out and see kind of what happens from there. We'll try to like keep it in-house as much of the work as we can before we contract it out, but we just want to see what the price would look like.
Okay, thanks for that update, and maybe if we can get an update when it's all kind of resolved down there, that'd be good. KSD committee, nothing, right, Councillor Atkinson?
No, nothing to report.
And Councillor Ann E. Ola. You're up. Your first report.
Currently, there's actually a slime night going on at Kelsey School right now.
Oh.
And as well as the Halloween carnival that took place October 31st. MBCI has been helping out in a lot of community events happening there.
Well, good. Well, thank you for that. Did you try to maybe talk to the municipal superintendent and to show up for the slime night? This guy over there, he usually likes to participate in those things as the community representative. So
I think the mayor would be so much better for something like this. He's made for it.
One thing I'd like to say, when the Remembrance Day service that was held yesterday, with the band being there, thank you very much. And it was quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, Heather told me that you guys are gonna be there, so it was appreciated by a lot of people. You guys got a good band. Mhm.
okay, if there's nothing else on reports, any other updates from council?
Still on resolution, right?
Which one?
Well, I'm sure it's supposed to say resolution number 2024-228.
Which one is that?
Airport electrical engineering assessment for ACAP.
Okay. I also have called for the
So,
amendment,
well,
please.
where is it on this agenda? Did I go by?
I'm not seeing it either.
Yes, I also have actually, I apologize for that, I also have actually mentioned this at the beginning of the agenda.
Okay, well, we have to, we're already into the
It's
meeting.
okay,
We have to.
I will bring it up.
No, I mean, if it's okay, I don't know what the rules are to add an item into our agenda in the middle of the meeting, which I don't think we can.
Yeah, well, nobody objects.
Yeah. Anybody have any objection to adding that? So could you just pass it to me and
Yes,
I'll,
I received it late from the airport manager.
so what is just pass it for a sec. I'll just read it over here, so. So, we'd like to make an amendment to the agenda to add resolution 228, airport electrical engineering assessment for ACAP. Is there any objections? Move. Hopper, second. Yeah. It's on here?
Just the.
But it's not in the
issue sheet
yeah.
as a resolution.
Yeah. Second, to add it to the agenda, Atkinson, Councillor Atkinson.
Yeah, we're fine. We haven't moved into committee of the whole yet,
Yeah.
so we're fine.
Okay, all in favor of amending the agenda? All in favor, 0 against, approved. Okay, so just to deal with this resolution 228, moved by Councillor Forster, second by Councillor Commodore, resolved that the council approved the airport electrical engineering assessment for ACAP to ensure early submission to the ACAP application in the amount of $27,858 plus taxes, with monies to be taken from the airport reserve fund that has a current balance of $286,400. This was discussed multiple times around the airport lighting and making sure that we've got the right stuff there. If you do look at in the meeting, there is all different quotes, 3 different quotes. This is the one that they selected. Everybody okay with that? So call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Okay. Addition. Well, I didn't see it on my list, like, normally, I'm not saying I don't skip things, I will skip stuff. Okay, moving down to, council, so couple of things, anybody have any councilor updates? I got a couple of things, I'm gonna wanna bring forward a, discussion in camera on one item, just to talk about just briefly. I would also like to tell everybody that on December 18th, around 10:15, there'll be Christmas carols at the town office. There's Andrew Leggety is bringing his class by, so if anybody else is wanting to join the Christmas carols, we can go from there. And yeah, and that's all I had. Anybody else have anything?
What time? Time.
10:15. On December 18th. Okay, under unfinished business, quality improvement committee, so what I suggest we get where we're at now, I think that the administration should start setting up meetings with their groups. Developing their agendas, developing the premise of what they're meeting for. And remember, these meetings are there to help take down some barriers and making sure that we're moving forward in the right direction, providing support. Dental building, that doesn't need to be talked about anymore. Great job by everybody there. Our youth counselor. Signage at the lake, you want to give us an update on the signage stuff, because that is continuing to be a hot topic.
I'll save you the issues with locates that are going on right now. That's sort of secondary. So we were able to get the guys out there today to start drilling some holes and starting to get some posts in the ground. took a bit of time to get started just for alignment purposes and to ensure that the 911 signs are done sort of in accordance with how we wanted to do, how we'd like it to look. So those were started this morning, probably not much progress today, but they'll be out there tomorrow, sort of full-fledged to get as many of them as they can completed. We're hoping by Wednesday, we're done with the 911 signs and the lake lot signs and the yield sign. So by Wednesday, we like to have that all wrapped up.
So by 911 signs, you're talking street signs, right? Because I know we've had this discussion, like, we were wondering why I made the mistake, speaking up when the group was here, about the actual signage markers that each yard would have. Those aren't going in, right?
No, they're going in.
Okay, that was my question before, why are we supplying and installing those when we have a bylaw that says you must have your home address in a particular manner that we just agreed to bringing into power, was specifically home signage?
Great, that's a great point. There was a little bit of turbulence, I believe, during this process for the owners, and I think we could have done better as the town sort of addressing some of their concerns sooner. So we thought that this would maybe be a bit of an olive branch towards the lake lot owners. Like, you're not forgotten out there. We do care. We are trying to be better and make improvements. So we thought this might go kind of a little ways to help, extending that to them. But you are correct.
Yeah, because I know I asked that question, I kind of felt, I'm saying, no, those are the signs we're talking about. No, all of a sudden, that's the signs we're talking about.
Yeah, the lot signs, also there'll be 2 numeration signs at the Lakeview Lot Road. So if you enter, let's say at the boat launch, it'll tell you which properties are to the right and to the left.
That's important.
And then the access will have a similar sign. Whether if you turn left, it's these lot numbers versus those lot numbers. And working with the economic development officer, we thought maybe another sign in the area to talk about the development itself, so that people know that the lake lot development is here, that there's maybe future possibilities. So we've been talking with Jonathan about maybe something to that effect. So,
Well, you and I go up those, just like the last one.
yeah, I do recall taking it down.
Good job, keep it up, don't hit any wires.
Yeah,
All the locates was a headache, but we appreciate the work of.
Well, I figured that's what it was, and when it said due to the expansive area, I'm like, they're obviously putting in actual 911 yard markers, because I know street signs are sometimes referred to as 911 signs as well, just to indicate.
okay.
Correct, and we're working with Google Maps to see if we can figure out a way to get it registered. It's not as simple as we
No.
thought. We've tried submitting multiple requests that they've denied so far.
Yeah.
So we got a hold of Brett at the planning branch. We're hoping to work with him to see what they can do behind the scenes to kind of help us with that as well. It's kind of a new territory for us.
So, Councilor Hopper, how did you put up your 911 sign at the lake? It was left in your driveway, you put it up?
Sledgehammer,
You should.
rubber gloves.
Yeah, don't be grounded, yeah.
Mine's still on a tree, you can go over and do mine too.
Okay, so that's good for the signs, if there's no more further questions. So town hall meeting next week, nothing, fees and fine schedule, we talked about that already.
And so you gonna share an agenda?
Yep, Bullet's got it. We'll send it up. She's got it, she showed me tonight.
Also, the minutes from last week show that meeting is October 18th.
What's that?
October 18th.
Yeah, no, he corrected it, sent another email afterwards.
We'll talk about that after too. I actually should have brought that up earlier, but I was just gonna talk about it in the regular business. Okay. So moving down, nothing else, statement of financials, Tricom. Citizen periods, no more citizens here, so we need to get moved into committee of the whole. Councillor Atkinson, can you do that?
I'll try. I don't have an agenda in front of me. We so move ourselves into the committee of the whole with Mayor Murphy in the chair.
Perfect. Okay, I put this issue sheet in there about garbage disposals, I think we need to spend some money and put some bigger, better garbage disposal containers, bins, something in our areas that we continually have garbage laying on the ground. I can tell you it is beyond frustrating in Rotary Park, when every single day we pick up garbage in the park and kids play in the park and dump the garbage cans over and kick them all over the yard and we do everything all over again. And the other area I suggested was down at the river. I know that, there's lots of people there, but maybe we need big steel bins there, like they have at Kelsey Estates, that have big steel lids on them that we drop down there. I know the risk is that people will start bringing their household garbage down there and it'll get full of all that, but I also believe that that's an area that should be monitored, and maybe we should think about putting a camera up in that area and put a big sign that says "Smiley on camera" but we gotta do something different with some of our garbage collection, I think. My thoughts are.
It's an ongoing issue, especially down by the fish shack and when the season's open, and as people are using it, but it gets full so quick and then it gets, birds are in it. And
Yeah.
so you need a resolution next meeting to.
Yeah. If you guys think that's, I mean, try something different anyways, right?
Yep. I agree 100%.
Okay. Air cap, we already talked about. So the other resolution or the other discussion point I put in there is about short-term rentals. So I just did a little sort of scan around the Airbnb sort of in our area, and I think we have like about 25 Airbnb areas within our community. And so I believe what we need to do is create some sort of short-term rental program to ensure that short-term rentals are registered with the town of The Pas, and that we collect all the appropriate accommodation levies and that are collected, and make sure that all these places are meeting the applicable codes and regulations. I know lots of municipalities are doing this sort of the same thing as it is right now, and I don't think we should be doing anything different, so.
Or just finish doing it.
So maybe we could start that if I'm looking at our administration to start sort of putting some, what you guys think, or?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we'll wait, I mean, it doesn't have to be for next week, but or the next meeting, but I guess get it on our to-do list and come up with there's lots of places that are doing it now that we can just borrow their rules and processes and kind of copy that. And if you need help with it, I kind of got some of that stuff I was already.
My little bit of concern is wouldn't that chase them out of the town area though to the lakes? Rocky Lake has the same thing. They got quite a few Airbnbs. Rocky Lake, they've got them in Clearwater Lake, they've got them all around us in RM.
Chase them out of
So
town to do what though?
You're chasing them to that. You're chasing them to those areas.
Okay,
We don't have any way of taxing those areas.
well, we do have a resolution, we do have an actual resolution in an AMM saying that people that live at the lake full-time that don't pay property taxes in town should be paying some sort of fee to be connected to our community.
Okay.
But it doesn't, we're talking about people that are turning their rental units that are renting in our town. There's not 25 people, you're not gonna, it doesn't change anything. They're gonna be living out at the lake and coming to town like nothing really changes.
Especially the accommodation tax would apply.
Yeah.
That's in
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Because the hotels pay that, right?
Yeah.
So in actual, they are like a hotel.
And people aren't staying at these places to save that, they're just, it's maybe a convenience, plus you can't get in, the hotels have.
Yeah.
Not gonna be a big money earner, but at least
We
they
have
have
a
a
hotel.
Yeah.
In our community that doesn't pay accommodation tax, right? OCN,
What's that?
we have OCN that has the exact same situation. Our hotels are still.
Yeah.
Full when necessary.
Okay, so we'll start working on something like that. Yeah, and I guess if we can just move ourselves, I think that's all we have for tonight. Thank you to our youth counselor for coming out tonight. Just for the people in Zoom land or YouTube land, we won't have anything coming out of our committee or out of our in-camera session tonight. It's just to discuss other items. So we'll enjoy your evening and thanks for coming out tonight. Thank you. See you in a couple of weeks. Well, we moved our meetings around.
You all.
We're December the fifth or fourth or something. Yeah, see you there.
Yes.